You know that the Australia flag is red, blue and white, but do you really know those 10 other things we're about to tell you?
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. Get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes.
The first fact you probably didn't know.
If you visit one new beach in Australia every day, it would take you over 27 years to see them all. As you probably know, Australia is completely surrounded by water. Therefore, there are multitudes of breathtaking beaches. Most of them are deserted and uncrowded. The country boasts some of the best beaches on the planet, and a huge coastline stretches for nearly 37,000 kilometers, which includes 11,000 beaches, which is more than any other nation. Examples of breathtaking and popular beaches are Whitehaven Beach, as you see in the video. And here you have a picture of beautiful Cable Beach. And last but not least, a picture of popular Bondi Beach, which is located in eastern Sydney. And here we stand in the beauty of Sundsvall, Sidsjö. Speaking of beaches, did you know that the Prime Minister of Australia, named Harold Holt, went for a swim in the ocean and he was never seen again?
What happened to him is unclear, and it's still a mystery in Australia. And this is the last picture that was taken of Harold Holt, and strangely, it was taken the same day as his disappearance. Maybe the girls have something to do with his disappearance, but no one really knows. But the most likely reason people have is that he was eaten by one of the 1,000 of great white sharks, which is unfortunately a regular death in Australia. And please, we cannot forget the other millions of dangerous and specific animals in Australia. For example, more than 80% of our plants, reptiles and frogs are unique to Australia and are found nowhere else. The country has a huge diversity belong animals. With other words, it can also be called the Deadly Paradise. Even in the paradise, deadly things happen. One of those cases was when the Australian crocodile hunter Steve Irwin was stung by a stingray and unfortunately died.
But did you really know the terrible history behind the tragical story?
Well, first of all, the Australian TV personality was known for his boldness and great passion for the animal kingdom, especially for his love to crocodiles and other reptiles. He sacrificed his everyday life to discover the animal kingdom, and one day that cost his life. He died in a diving accident when he was filming an underwater documentary and a poisonous stingray stabbed him. And for the people who don't know what a stingray is, it is actually a very special and flat fish which is common in tropical waters. And the name of the fish has been given of the toxic tag on his tail, and it's pretty unusual that people die after being stung by a stingray. But sometimes it happens, and that is also what caused Steve's death. So the world lost a wilderness icon and one of Australia's prides.
of water life, did you really know that there is a pink-colored lake on Earth? That's what dreams are made of!
Well, I do know it sounds too good to be true, but I can tell you that a pink lake actually exists. Lake Hiller is an extraordinary and unbelievable lake on the middle island in Western Australia. For us who love pink, it's a dream come true. Unlike other pink lakes in the world, like the one in San Francisco, the pink color of Lake Hiller has not been decisively proved, although it is speculated that the color could arise from a dye created by the organisms. Another reason why the lake is pink is because the color is due to red bacteria in the salt crust. That the pink color is not a trick of light can be proved by taking water from a lake in a container. The pink color can be found to be permanent.
Australia is, as you might see, a natural beauty. And despite from the pink lake, the country also has thousands of more beauties. For example, did you really know that the biggest rock in the entire world, covering 8 kilometers of land, is located in Australia? Well, it is, and it's called the Ayers Rock. The rock is one of Australia's most famous natural wonders, and it's located in the National Park in the middle of Australia, where it has been for the last 500 million years. And as you can see, it has a very special and beautiful red color. And speaking of beautiful things, one tip for you all is that if you ever want to visit this stone, go there early in the morning or late at night so you can take part of the amazing sunset, which is one of the biggest reasons why people from all over the world travel to Australia daily, just to see this fascinating and famous stone. You probably had a clue about the fascinating environment, but did you really know that for every human in Australia there are 2 sheep? The population of people in Australia is estimated to be 23 million, while there are at least 120 million of sheep. In other words, and as you can understand, they have a lot more sheep than people, which is a pretty strange but also a special thing with this country. The reason why they have a lot of sheep is because they produce wool, meat, milk and hides. Therefore, Australia is a blockbuster of wool and meat to other countries.
By the way, did you really know that a typical Australian is expected to consume 92 sheep, a half of those cheese and 17 beef cattle in the span of a lifetime? Therefore, as a result, 61% of Australians are obese, even though Australians are really athletic people.
Did you really know that in the current situation, the Aborigines, which are Australia's original inhabitants, only constitute 2% of Australia's population? As I just mentioned, the Aborigines are Australia's original inhabitants. They have lived in Australia for a long time, before the Europeans invaded their home country for almost 200 years ago. Since this invasion, the Aboriginal people have been oppressed into a world unnatural to their existence for thousands of years. In today's society, there are not many original inhabitants left, and they are also treated unfairly in our opinions. To get food on the table is unfortunately a daily struggle for many of the Aboriginal people. Therefore, we think they all soon will be extinct.
Speaking of nothing at all, did you know that walking around in public and especially driving the car barefoot is a completely normal thing in Australia?
Well, for many of us Swedes, this is something unthinkable. But in Australia, this is a part of the daily life and it's completely normal. Even when they are at the supermarket or in the bank, many of them leave their shoes at home. And no one really knows why, but we guess it's just a strange tradition thing they have, or just because they like to get a sense of freedom at their feet.
Last but not least, I think we all have heard of the Opera House in Sydney. But did you really know that the building is made of Swedish tiles from Höganäs?
The famous building is covered with 1 million tiles that are made of a company in Sweden. And this is a pride we Swedes have forgotten, and we also think it's worth paying attention to. And as you can see, it's a very beautiful and impressive building in Sydney. And people travel from all over the world to see and to experience this building.
And this was also all for us, so we hope that you all can a little bit more random facts about Australia now. And thank you for watching.
So, in that
Should I let it down? Okay.
Mr. Fowler.
Kom bara ihåg det. Kom bara ihåg det.
Kom ihåg det. Vi har ju lång... Texten är för fan lång, den där texten var det där. Det kommer att ta typ 30 sekunder att säga.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber.